Assalamualaikum and good morning, guys. So we are lucky today to have Professor Tofu to join us in our discussion on the dimensions of food sciences. So thank you, Professor Tofu, for coming all the way from USN. Yeah. So how are you, Prof?
I'm good. Thank you for the invitation. I will try to help in any ways I can.
Okay. Professor Tofu, can you tell us your definitions of food sciences?
Food science is the scientific study of food materials and their behavior during formulation, processing, packaging, storage, and evaluation as consumer food products. Okay, I hear you. How does this definition um, differentiate food science from nutrition, Prof? Yes, we can differentiate food science and nutrition. Food science is concerned with all quality and safety aspects of food before a person consumes them, while nutrition is related to how the body uses foods after we eat them to promote and maintain our health. These are very different from each other. All right, Prof. Thank you for that. Now there are two more definitions that we have to differentiate. One is called food technology, like our programs, and then the manufacturing side, food manufacturing. How do we differentiate these two? Quite simple, really. IFT definition of food technology is the application of food science to the selection, preservation, processing, packaging, distribution, and use of safe, nutritious, and wholesome food. Yes, it is the application of food science. IFT identifies food manufacturing as the mass productions of food products from raw animals and plant materials utilizing the principles of food technology. Thank you, Prof, for that explanation. It's very clear now the difference between food technology and food manufacturing. Yeah. Okay. In order for us to appreciate food sciences, I understand that students also need to learn or to have learned another field like biology, chemistry, even physics and engineering. So is this statement true, number one, Prof? And number two, can you explain the needs to have these subjects in our curriculum of food technology program, USM, Prof? Yes, I'm afraid it is true. Food science overlaps not only nutrition, but other knowledge areas such as biology, chemistry, engineering, and I know you are afraid of this, physics. For this reason, food science is not a traditional scientific discipline, but is rather an application or combination of these other sciences, meaning that food science is an interdisciplinary field of study. So, how do we relate food science and biology? We know that foods are derived from living organisms like animals or plant in origin. So we as food scientists must know how the edible tissues of these food sources is organized on the cellular level. We also know that the living organisms such as bacteria, yeast, and molds can contaminate living tissue, creating a variety of consequences to the food. The microbiological action of these organisms can be harmful, can be detrimental to food, or in some cases can be useful. There is a branch of biology, genetics for instance, is the scientific foundation of food biotechnology. Next, how do we relate chemistry and food science? We can appreciate the fact that foods such as meat, fruits, vegetables, bread, cereals all contains carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and other atoms. These and other atoms listed in the periodic tables of the elements exist in foods as combined structures forming the characteristic proteins, carbohydrates, vitamins, minerals, pigments, and fat molecules found in every food. We as food scientists should know the molecular structures of these food components and to study the changes to them that might affect food quality. I give you one example. If you let a jar of peanut butter sits on the shelf for long enough, a chemical reaction will occur to the peanut oil in the product that results in an undesirable odor. As a food scientist, we would recognize these reactions as oxidation of unsaturated fatty acids in the peanut butter, and we could use chemical structures to describe this. Okay, and now the challenging part that students do not really like is physics. Many branches of physics are important to food scientists. Thermodynamics seeks to explain the properties of matter, such as the solid or liquid state of food. For example, in the manufacture of solid chocolate, it is critical to understand the concepts of melting point and how it relates to the final product texture. As food scientists use the physics of the electromagnetic energy spectrum as a basis for understanding how food color is detected, how microwave cooking works, and how the application of irradiations and pressure makes food safe. Finally, I like to relate engineering and food science. In this food engineering, we use unit operations that invoke engineering principles that are applied to food processing, such as heat transfer during thermal processing, packaging, refrigeration, freezing, evaporation, and drying. Okay guys, so we come to the end of the discussion. Again, thank you very much to Professor Tofu for coming all the way from USM. I'm going to sum up. Number one, we now understand that food science deals with food manipulations. We manipulate a lot during processing, during product development, etc. And then because of this manipulation, we results in consequences on the food components, and of course, going to be lots of interactions. You're going to learn this a lot in food chemistry classes. I'm talking about the food components such as water, carbohydrates, proteins, fats, etc. Okay, again, see you in class and happy learning. Thank you for coming.